Hello, hello, hello. Welcome for another episode of Author Spotlight. Hey, it's your host with the most, your main man, Darren M. Palmer, Chief Book Officer with Self Publishing 30 Days. Excited to be with you, where I get the honor and the privilege to go behind the scenes, yes, with best-selling authors from around the world. Today, I got on Lasonya Mahoney. Say hello to everybody, Lasonya.
Everyone. Hi, Mr. Palmer.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, howdy to you. I'm glad that you are here today. And if you don't mind, Miss Lasagna, um, I know that you are a two-time author and counting now, but is it anything that you want to share with the people a little bit about yourself?
Um, well, being an author is an outlet. I love to let my mind flow and express myself. So being a two-time author, I'm sure it will be three, four, five because it's been great. The experience of letting my ideas come out and to share it with everyone. And it seems like everyone has been giving me nothing but love, great reception from the first book, children's book, and then now Visionistas. Um, More about myself, besides an author, I am a full time attorney. I am a full time family person. I don't believe that we have all these lovely talents and gifts, and you should limit yourself to just one. So I'm just enjoying everything at this moment.
You know, I'm glad that you shared that, Lasagna, about your story, because for those who are listening, this is important. So we got a conference coming up, Visionistas 2021, where this is a collective, it's a cohort of amazing women, queens, who've been able to come together for as a power movement because it's the old school, I like to not say, it's more seasoned song, I'm every woman, it's all in me, so to speak. But it's a melting pot and it's about creativity. It's about an outlet. It's about service. It's about growing your understanding of the world by connecting with other people. Because when you got 7.5 or 8.5, I mean, the numbers keep changing for us, the number of people that's here on the world. I think if we put more of an emphasis on things that we have alike and things that we have in common and find things that we can build rapport that's relatable, I think that it will help with relationships. And so I hear that with you, being diverse in your approach and understanding that it's a myriad of ways that you can actually have impact with the family component. Also, more of a solo approach. What you're doing for is the content creation that you're doing for your books is amazing. And while being a full time, so I love the full time component of it. Full time being a lawyer and so many other things that you do. And the reason that I went around the merry-go-round with that is I want you to understand that for those who are listening to this, there is a way to do it. For those who know, I have a story. You know who you are. That's why you're listening to this. That's why you tuned in. That's why you're checking out this episode with Miss Lasonya Mahoney too as well, because you know it's something that you are supposed to put out, and the world is going to be a better place. But if you allow limited beliefs of what I do full time, whether that's a full time parent or I have a full time business or full time career, all the above. If you allow that to get in the way instead of making it happen, you'll miss out on some of the best things in life. So when you look at, let's just go to your first book. Moving forward on that, if you don't mind, Miss Mahoney, share with the people, how did you get over that hurdle? I don't say hurdle. How did you find an opportunity where most will find an obstacle by saying, yes, I'm full time in these other areas, but the time is now and I'm going to move forward and do a book?
The first book, it was a hurdle. I did for years before I came out with that first book, have an idea. I had an idea. I shared the idea. People would say, "Oh yes, that sounds great." They would give you or give me books to potentially self-publish. I'd be like, "I don't know what I'm blog, even after I read the book. I thought I could rely on people too that I knew with a talent in maybe editing something or coming up with characters. People become unreliable. And I said, y'all are all my obstacles. Y'all are preventing me from everything that I want to accomplish. So I had to say, I'm going to invest in myself, in professionals that I can rely on who do this all the time and help me, because I definitely did not. I still have the book of how to self-publish on my shelf. I still could not tell you that you have to know your limits. And that is my limit. I can come up with an idea, but I had to stop with the excuses and everyone else telling me, yeah, they would help. And then they wouldn't, or they would start and then something would happen. It's always something happening that I had to say, no, I'm going to save money, invest in myself and get this done. I'm going to write it down. I gave myself a deadline. I said, by November, I'm going to have this. By, for example, by November, I need to have the funds. I was able to contact a few people who knew self-publishing and your company, Mr. Palmer. And so I contacted you. I gave myself a deadline to do that. When you give yourself deadlines, there is no excuse. It needs to be done. Every day is important. And that's the older I got, every day becoming that important was important. So yes, I loved the fact that my book, when it finally did come out, it was a relief to hold it. And you will be satisfied if you forget about the obstacles, overcome, and just have that joy of seeing what you can do.
Man, I told y'all, don't let Lasonya fool y'all. Lasonya is fire. Did y'all see my girl come up there and just pop, 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 pop? She's like she was Floyd Mayweather in the ring or whatnot. She was orchestrating them blows to us. Of value, blows of value. Now I want you all to digest some of that. I want to unpack some of the things that she discussed. Whoo, the part of it of knowing that you got to get it done. I can't tell you, Lasonya, the part what you brought up. Just do yourself a favor. Don't get me wrong. I understand that you want to be smart with your funds. I understand that money don't grow on trees for you. I get all the things that you're telling yourself, but please stop looking for professional results from people who aren't professionals at what they do. If you look at, say in the South, shade tree mechanic. I mean, you gotta go get the parts. You gotta wait on them to have their beer, get a drink. Then they had to go by the store, and then they ran out. I'm just using this as an example from me coming out the South or whatnot. You're the Southern draw like Tim McGraw of that, but instead of someone who has a profession that has an actual shop and they have the registration and this is what they do. They have all their tools, they have staff. So it might be more of a premium, but the thing is what you are allotted by the time that you save, knowing that it's done right, knowing that you're able to have a warranty, knowing that you have security that this person is wanting to continue to be in business compared to somebody that this is just a side hustle, it causes you to be free of all that friction. And so what Lasonya is alluding to, there are authors who come to us all the time who are sharing that, hey, so-and-so was supposed to help me. You get some people who don't ever get the book done because they feel defeated or they're putting funds. They're trying to be a general contractor. I like to call this the HGTV method of individuals. Lasonya, they watch Property Brothers or they watch their favorite show or they watch Chip and Joanna or whatnot, games or whatnot in Waco, and then they think they can go out there and do it the weekend, so they don't went to Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever place, and they got all the materials and they're gonna do it in one weekend like they did on HGTV that looks so nice. Then the weekend is over, they still have missing pieces, they got stuff all over the floor, glue guns everywhere, and it's not done. It's something about what professionals are able to do. It can make it look easy, but it's strategy, it's experience, it's processes that's available for that. So by you setting the goal for as budget, Also holding yourself accountable for the content that need to be created, because you can have the budget. I've seen people who have budgets, but they won't provide the content. They won't do the things that they need to do. And so it can be a never ending story or whatnot for them getting that done. So for those who out there who are listening, and that's why you want to be able to participate in Visionistas 2021, because you hear Lasonya dropping bombs, value bombs on us today, but you'll be able to hear her and others who are able to share with you their experiences, how they were able to overcome. And now she's a two-time author. So I want to segue Lasonya into, you did the first book, okay? But why do the co-authoring book? What stood out to you as far as being a part of Visionistas, and why did you do that? Because you could have said, okay, I'm already an author, I don't have to do that, which you didn't. But what sparked your interest in being part of a co-authoring project?
Well, I have to piggyback and say, what author wants to do one book? I have not met one. So I thought it was a good strategy to come together with women to come up with a book, a book, because as you know, my first book is a children's book. Children's books and poetry, things that are short and simple, are easy for me to write in comparison to a novel, a real story. So if I'm going to pick a story to choose, why not the Visionistas story? One, because I only had to do one chapter. That's great to hone my skill on how to do more. But also, what's great is that the concept of women coming together. So not only did I say to myself, what author wants to do one book, but I also said, if I'm going to do we call it diversify my portfolio when it comes to finances, right? So if I want to diversify myself, what better way to do that than that project? Visionistas is a great project.
You know, I tell you, you are just a poster child client. When I talk about that, I mean, if all the clients were like Lasonya Mahoney, boy, the world would be a better place. But it starts with your thinking. You see, Lasonya is sharing with you strategies. This isn't, I'm just hoping and looking in the sky and thinking that the book is going to come about and manifest itself on its own. No, this is, I conceive it, I have an idea. Okay, let's get practical. What are the tangible steps? What are the things that I'm going to do that's going to allow for that to come into fruition? Not just, one day I'm going to get it. I know I need to get that book done. Yeah, it's gonna come to one day. I'm gonna get started. You know what? I listened to some on Clubhouse the other day, and what? I seen somebody talked about a book. A friend of mine, her daughter did a book, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it. No, no, no. You got to act like Jackson, and you got to take action. You have to make sure that you create a strategy. And what does that look like for you? So let's back this up a little bit. And now this is not juvenile for the 99 and 2000 for those. Don't let it go over your head. Y'all catch that later on. But I want you to understand the importance of Lasonya looking at this and saying, wait a minute, okay, I did the first book, but before I pivot and go into something more in depth, let me find a smooth transition. I'm able to do more than one book. I'm able to partner, the power of partnerships. I'm able to partner with other amazing women as well. And I'm able to be a two-time author. And now I'm getting the experience of what it would be to come from one genre, or not a one area for us to children books. And now I'm able to still put my toe in the water a little bit to experience what it is to do my own book, whatever that looks like, what's my experience, life story, whatever that may be, by being a part of this as well. I'm building my relationships. My network is your net worth. I'm growing my network by doing this as well. And so now I'm able to expand further if I look at doing another project, or when I would do another project. Now that's strategy. So Darren, why did you bring that up? Because she knew that that was a perfect opportunity. If you don't know that being a part of a co-authoring project is beneficial, you didn't even have to do the full investment that it would take to do a normal book, but you still an author. Don't miss that. Don't miss that. I'm not, I don't want to feel like I'm talking too fast or you're listening too slow. So when you listen to this, I want you to think about that. Lasonya is an author again for less of an investment of a solo project, but it's a combination. Now she can touch those in this arena, but this is also opening up doors in another arena with more adults because of the content that she created in Visionistas, which will lead into her solo project or other co-authoring projects that she would do in the future. It's building up her resume, so to speak, or diversifying her portfolio where people are able to say, hey, she's not missing anyone. So if you got kids or whatnot, she understands it. You're in education or you got a nonprofit, she's able to serve you. If it comes to, you can see her as a peer or someone who inspires you, which you can do for as your career as well. You're able to identify and relate to her on those areas too as well. So, Lasonya, do you got anything else that you want to add to that before we move forward?
No, it's just important to know for everyone the big picture, and so you just explain the big picture, not just today. So,
Mm. And before we close it out, because we want you to be there, we can't give you all the information because Miss Lasonya will be there for the Visionistas conference. I know some of y'all saying, that's like Campbell soup, Darren. That's good. I know it. I told y'all before she started coming on that my girl was gonna be like Alicia Keys. That girl is on fire. I told y'all about it. I told you about it before she came on. So
not
we just
Alicia
wanted to give
Keys.
you Alicia Keys, had to do the keys. So we had to just drop a little bit for you, give you a little ski taste, an example, a sample of what you're going to experience in Visionista Conference 2021. But before we get out of here, I want you to share with the people how they can connect with you, whether social media handles or if it's purchasing your first book. How can they connect with you?
um,
I'll have all the information in the show notes, but if you want to verbalize it, that would be good.
sure. I love for people to connect with me, so I will repeat, and you can write it down. I'm on Instagram, LN Mahoney. Um, I am. I even shared my personal email address, Sonya Mahoney, SONYAMAHONEY at att.net, because I want people to reach out to me. I do want people to tell me how they, especially with Visionistas, which is about the vision of women and my growth and all I've learned thus far in my years, you see these gray hairs, years of experience. So I do want to hear from people all the time, because we all have a testimony, we all have a story. I can learn from you, you can learn from me.
Well, we'll have that information for Ms. Mahoney in the show notes, so you'll be able to connect with her as well. But I also just want those who to listen to is this is a tip too for business owners, or if you got a profession or wherever you're working at. Working with someone like Miss Mahoney is prayers answered because this didn't used to be my life. I get to work with amazing people who inspire me. So the gift is the gift that keeps on giving. It's the law of reciprocity. So I want to share with those when you talk about strategy and the overview, but it didn't happen by accident. I was able to position myself. So Darren, why you bring this up? Because I'm giving a testimony, so to speak. I'm a testament of the strategies and the information that Ms. Mahoney has shared with us today, as well of how I've implemented that same type of things in my businesses as well. Of what she's bringing up is being strategic on who you working with. She's strategic on getting the budget, creating the content, getting it done. The amazing, the joy that she feels by holding something in her hand is tangible now. Um, Learning from the pitfalls that so many don't come out of, the abyss of hoping that somebody can get it done, but you're not really even investing or you're not paying them anything. So they on the want to plan and they get to it when they can, even though they could be actually creative enough and have talent, but this is not their profession and it shows by how they deal with it. If you're a timely person, if you like stuff done, if you want to be on schedule, if you want to be able to predict what that look like when you get an illustration done or you get an edit done. If someone is not serious about their craft and they got other things to do, you're going to fall to the backside or the wayside. So I want you to understand those nuggets, being able to understand how she did the first book, but then also saw the value with being a part of a Visionistas or cohort, realizing that we can be better together and the power of partnership, no ego. We all make each other better. So that's why I'm bringing up that she is no other person that I would want to have. I think, they deserve to be in the book more than her, because like I brought up earlier, she's the poster child of Visionistas. It's women who think outside of the box. So what you heard today is a woman who is a Visionistas because she thinks outside the box, and she's not just talking about it, she's actually doing the work and investing in the work. And so that's why we see the fruit. That's why we see the results. So I thank God for you, Lasonya. I want you to know that I appreciate everything. You're an inspiration. I know you make your family proud. I know you make me godly proud of whatnot. I know you make your mom proud. So just keep on making the impact that you're doing, girl. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Before we close it out, one last thing, Lasonya.
Okay.
Share with that person. Share with that person out there who's thinking to themselves, Lasonya is a lawyer. She's already published a book. I'm not Lasonya Mahoney. I'm not Darren. I'm not Oprah. I'm not Warren Buffett or something. That's how some people view you being as an author. But they know they have a story, but they don't know if they should put it out or not. Could you share with them and give them a word of encouragement why their story matters as well?
Um, what I will say to everyone, um, I started out not knowing what I wanted to do. I started out not having a direction. I started out making lots of mistakes. I didn't know how I was going to pay some bills. I didn't know where I was going to stay sometimes. So that's when you make those huge, huge, huge mistakes in life. If you look at yourself in the mirror and say, God made me great. I am living in this situation, but I am not this situation. Your mind changes. Your mindset changes. When you go to work, even though you come home miserable, you will smile. You will give it your best, because that is that day. That is not 5 years from now. That is not, you will make it. I became a lawyer later in life. So I'm just now starting. I feel like I'm just now starting. So you don't have to have it figured out at 18. You don't have to have it figured out at 26, not 30 either. To everyone, your story is important. Put value in yourself.
Good. Man, somebody ought to be paying for this episode. I'm just gonna be straight up with you all. I'm trying to be professional on here, but y'all about to make me shout in here. I'm about to have some church in here. If you can't get anything off this interview, I don't know what we can do for you. But other than that, Visionistas 2021, we will have information how you can register. Miss Lasonya Mahoney herself will be there along with the other women who think outside of the box, the Visionistas themselves. Visionista 2021 conference. We thank you so much again, Lasonya. And for those who are tuned in, remember that if you won't change, be the change. Until next time, remember, this is the year for your new book.